Greetings, people of the internet. Lachlan here, back with another video. There can be no doubt that the country of South Africa is currently facing the greatest period of turmoil since before the fall of apartheid. And if something doesn't happen to change that, we shall no doubt become another failed African state. However, rather than being all doom and gloom, I thought I'd provide some solutions to the problems as I see them. Unemployment in South Africa is currently very high, particularly among my age demographic. I myself am currently unemployed despite my college education and experience as a writer and journalist. What I believe government has failed to do is to foster an environment in which the economy can thrive. So often we hear government officials talking about how government is involved in job creation. In my view, government should not be creating jobs, because the more bloated government departments become, the greater the burden on state resources, which, let's face it, come from ordinary taxpayers. And our tax base is rapidly shrinking as people lose confidence in the future of this country and leave for better shores. I also believe that if we are to become prosperous as a nation, we need to leave behind the bitterness and resentment of past injustices. This is not to say that the wrongs of apartheid must not be righted, but we have to acknowledge that every country has dark history to it. And if you go back far enough, everyone has been oppressed and mistreated by everyone else. Before apartheid existed, South Africa had Jacob Zuma, who was one of the most brutal dictators this country and this continent have ever known. And yet, he is honoured in South African culture as a leader and as basically a mythical figure. People do horrible things to one another when given the opportunity. They always have. All we can do is work from the basis of what we have now and try to treat each other with respect and dignity. I also believe that our current leaders have forgotten that their duty is to be public servants, with an emphasis on the fact that they are supposed to serve the needs of their people. They clearly seem to have forgotten this, as our illustrious president spends most of his time defending his own power rather than acting as someone who holds his office should, in terms of actually implementing policies that would help South Africa to grow and to develop into the leader of the African economy as it should. On the issue of race relations, this is still a very sore spot in the South African consciousness on both sides of the colour divide. You have white people who feel hard done by because of policies that have been enacted to redress the injustices of the past, and you have black people who don't feel enough is being done to give them what they feel they deserve. The problem is that no one actually deserves anything. What you deserve is to be treated fairly. You do not deserve a certain standard of life. The only way you are deserving of anything is having earned that. So if you want a comfortable middle class life, you have to be willing to put in the work. You have to show that you deserve to be rewarded for your efforts. I believe that if we can't stop blaming each other for what's been done by the people who came before us, both black and white, we will never progress as a nation, and we will slowly descend into conflict, chaos, and death. Like it or not, I am stuck in South Africa for better or worse. And like so many people seem to believe, and as I've been told, I can't remember how many times, I can't simply go back to where I came from, because this is where I come from. I was born in South Africa, raised here, and I've never been out of the country. My family has lived in South Africa for well over 100 years. There's a common misconception among certain sectors of society that by virtue of being white, we can all just travel the world as and when we wish. This simply isn't true. So my belief is that we all have to work together if we want anything to be accomplished. If you like this video, feel free to leave a comment down below and share it with your friends.
Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down your spine. Shrieking skulls will shock your soul, seal your doom tonight.